When my business got acquired, my Emile asked me at brunch, "Does this mean you'll finally stop pretending to be a real entrepreneur?" I said nothing. Just waited until Christmas and gifted every family member a custom box with my company's new logo on it and a check. Hers was $5. When she asked why, I said, "It's what I give people who invest nothing but opinions. I'm not here for sympathy. I don't need a pat on the back or a round of applause. I just want to get this off my chest, because I held it in for over a decade and it still burns a little when I think about it." My name's Tyler. I'm 43 and I live in Louisville, Kentucky. I built a tech business from scratch, sold it for a life-changing amount, and gave my wife's family more than they ever gave me. Except for one person, my mother-in-law. Let me tell you about Lorraine. I met my wife, Casey, when I was working IT for a small firm downtown. She worked in HR, and we clicked right away. She's kind, smart, and tough. Her mom is the opposite of that. From the start, Lorraine didn't like me. I wasn't good enough for her daughter. I didn't wear the right clothes, I didn't have the right job, and when I told her I didn't finish college, she gave me this look like I just said I ate roadkill for dinner. I proposed to Casey after a year. Lorraine didn't say congratulations. She just asked, "And how exactly do you plan to support a wife?" That was my intro to the family. But Casey loved me and that was all I needed. In 2011, I quit my IT job to build a business. I had an idea for a better way for small businesses to manage inventory and customer flow, something between spreadsheets and expensive enterprise software. It was a long shot, but I believed in it. I saved up 6 months of expenses, rented out a cheap office, and started coding. Lorraine's reaction? "You quit a real job for a pipe dream? That's bold. Guess we'll see how long you last." Every holiday, every birthday dinner, every family barbecue, she made sure to bring it up. "So, Tyler, how's the website?" She said website like it was a disease, like I should be embarrassed. I never rose to it. Not once. I just kept building. The early years were rough. Rough. We had to pause trying for kids because we couldn't afford it. I sold my car and biked to my office. There were nights I stayed up wondering if I was making a huge mistake. But I pushed on. I got my first clients through word of mouth. 1 turned into 3. 3 turned into 10. I brought on a buddy as co-founder, then a part-time engineer. We didn't grow fast, but we grew right. By 2020, we had a real team. By 2022, we had steady revenue and hundreds of loyal customers. By summer 2023, we got our first acquisition offer. It was a long negotiation. Casey knew we were talking to investors but didn't know the full details. I didn't want to jinx it. In September 2023, we closed $8.3 million. I kept majority control of the tech and stayed on as a consultant. I called Casey first. We cried. Then I called my dad, then my best friend. I didn't call Lorraine. I didn't say a thing to her. Not yet. A month later, we were at this family brunch Lorraine hosts every October. She lives for this stuff. Mimosas, charcuterie boards, everyone in beige sweaters, fake laughing at her jokes. We were sitting at this long table outside. She was tipsy and loud, as always. Her niece was talking about starting a new job at a big firm in Chicago. And Lorraine was bragging like she got the job. Then she looked at me. "So, Tyler," she said, holding her glass high, "does this mean you'll finally stop pretending to be a real entrepreneur?" She said it with a grin. Everyone laughed. Except Casey. Her face went cold. I just smiled. I didn't say a word, because I already had a plan. Christmas was coming. We do the big celebration at Lorraine's house. Every year, she insists on matching pajamas, gift themes, and a huge tree that's more for show than anything else. It's a whole production. That year, I showed up with a stack of sleek black boxes. All the same size. All tied with the same ribbon. Each box had a custom card inside with my company's new logo on the front, a message on the back, and a check. To Casey's dad, who once slipped me cash during hard times and never asked for it back, I gave $25,000. To Casey's sister, who helped me find beta testers early on, I gave $15,000. To her niece, who did some graphic design for my first pitch deck, $5,000. Then came Lorraine's box. She opened it like she already knew it was going to be some kind of grand gesture. When she saw the check, she did a double take. It was $5. "Is this a joke?" she asked, holding it up. "Nope," I said. "It's what I give people who invest nothing but opinions." The room went completely still. No one laughed. No one spoke. Lorraine looked like someone slapped her. She put the check down and didn't say another word. For the rest of the night, she barely looked at me. Casey was glowing. Her sister couldn't stop smiling. Since then, Lorraine's been quiet. Not nicer, just quiet. She hasn't said a word about my work since. But that's fine. Sometimes silence is the loudest thing in the room. The silence didn't last forever. A few weeks after that Christmas, Casey and I were out grocery shopping when she got a call from her sister, Danielle. I could tell right away something was off. Casey's expression shifted from confusion to anger in about 10 seconds. When she hung up, she looked at me. "You're not gonna believe this," she said. "Mom's been telling everyone you gave her $5 because you're cheap. She's leaving out the part where you gave Dad and me thousands." I laughed. Couldn't help it. "She's serious?" "Dead serious," Casey said. "She told Danielle it was a humiliation stunt and that you're trying to drive a wedge through the family. It would have been laughable if it wasn't so twisted." Lorraine didn't just hate being embarrassed, she hated not being in control. And when I flipped the script at Christmas, she lost it. That night, Casey called her. I stayed quiet. I didn't want to add fuel to the fire. But I heard every word. "You lied," Casey said. "He didn't humiliate you. You've been belittling his work for 10 years. He finally stood up for himself, and now you're spinning it like he attacked you." I heard Lorraine's voice on the other end. Loud, shrill. "You're choosing him over your own mother?" "He's my husband," Casey said. "And he earned every dollar he gave you. Frankly, $5 was generous." Click. After that, things got colder. Family dinners got tense. Lorraine stopped inviting us to small get-togethers. She didn't come to our house for Casey's birthday. Even Alan started acting weird. Like he was caught in the middle and didn't know which way to lean. But the real twist came in March. Danielle texted Casey a screenshot of a GoFundMe page. It was under a fake name, Anonymous Family Support. But the profile picture was Lorraine and Alan's front porch. The goal? $50,000. The story? Total fiction. It said they were struggling with medical costs, house repairs, and family betrayals. It didn't mention names, but it heavily implied they were being financially abandoned by a family member who recently became wealthy. I read it twice. My jaw locked up. It didn't say my name, but it didn't have to. It had phrases like, "He gave handouts to everyone else but forgot the ones who raised his wife." And imagine being cut off because you told the truth about someone's failing business. Casey was shaking. "She's insane," she said. "She's actually insane." The GoFundMe had already raised about $2,000. A bunch of people had donated. Neighbors, church friends, even one of Casey's cousins from Ohio. I wanted to call her out right there. Blast the truth. Post screenshots of every snide comment, every sarcastic remark she ever made about my hobby. But Casey stopped me. "If you do that," she said, "she wins. She'll say you're unstable, vengeful. She'll twist it." So I held back. For the moment. Instead, I called Alan. I asked him point blank if he knew what Lorraine was doing. He sounded tired. Defeated. "I didn't know she was going to post it," he said. "She wrote it one night after drinking. I told her to take it down, but she won't listen to me anymore. Why doesn't she just talk to me?" I asked. "She doesn't want to talk," he said. "She wants to be right." That was all I needed to hear. But I wasn't done yet. Because if Lorraine wanted to make this public, I could do the same. I just needed to be smarter about it. I didn't go public. Not directly. But I wasn't gonna sit back and let her drag my name through the mud. So I did something a little different. I called Danielle. She was caught in the middle like Alan always had been. But she was honest. Always had been that too. I told her straight, "I'm not asking you to take sides. I just want you to tell the truth. You were there when Lorraine used to mock me, right?" There was a pause. "I remember," she said. "She did it a lot. I didn't need more than that." So I asked her gently if she could talk to the others. The cousins, the neighbors, the people donating. She hesitated. "She's my mom, Tyler." "I know," I said. "But she's also lying. And you know it." 2 days later, the GoFundMe was down. No apology. No message. Just gone. I thought that would be the end of it. But Lorraine doesn't go down easy. The very next Sunday, we got an invite to a family brunch. That was weird. After months of silence, she suddenly wanted to host again? Casey didn't want to go. I convinced her. "I want to see what she's planning." We showed up, and everything looked normal, overly normal. Too many baked goods. Flowers on every table. Even music playing in the background like it was a wedding. Then I saw it, a slideshow playing on the living room TV. Photos of Casey as a kid. Then teenage years. Then our wedding. Then photos of me in our old apartment. Me working on my laptop. Me biking in the rain. Me sleeping at my desk. She'd gone on my old Facebook and pulled every photo I'd ever posted during my startup years. I recognized some Casey must have uploaded too. The last slide? A big quote in white letters on a black screen. Don't forget where you came from. I turned to Lorraine. She was smiling like a wolf. I don't know what she thought that would do. Shame me? Humble me? I stood up and pulled the power cord from the wall. The screen went dark. Then I looked at everyone and said, "This is what it looks like when someone can't accept that they were wrong." Lorraine started to speak, but Casey stood up next. "No," she said. "Stop. We see you now. All of us." And that was it. We left. Didn't take a plate. Didn't say goodbye. But the thing is, that still wasn't the end. Because 3 weeks later, Alan showed up at our house. And he wasn't alone. 3 weeks after that strange brunch, Alan showed up at our door. He had a folder in his hand and someone was with him, a woman in a blazer. She introduced herself as a lawyer. I let them in, confused but calm. Casey sat beside me on the couch. Alan looked embarrassed. He couldn't meet my eyes. The lawyer got right to it. "Mr. Ramsey, we're here on behalf of Mrs. Lorraine Green. She's filed a claim against you for defamation, character damage, and emotional distress." I blinked. "You're kidding." "I'm afraid not," she said. "She's citing the Christmas incident, the checks, the comments made in front of family, and the resulting damage to her reputation." I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because I couldn't believe how far she was willing to go. I turned to Alan. "You let this happen?" He looked older than I'd ever seen him. "She told me if I didn't support her, she'd file for divorce. Said I picked your side too many times already." Casey stood up. "You're threatening people now?" Alan held up his hand. "I didn't come here to fight. I came here to tell you this isn't just about you anymore. She's dragging us all into it." I leaned back and exhaled. I had choices. I could countersue. I could bring out every text, every witness, every cruel word she ever said. But I didn't. Instead, I settled. I agreed to give her a gesture $1,000 under the condition that she signs a legally binding agreement to stop all contact, remove all remaining false claims, and never mention my name again in public or private. The lawyer nodded. She looked surprised I didn't argue. Alan looked relieved. But Casey, she didn't speak the whole time. After they left, she sat on the back porch and cried. She wasn't crying for me. Or her mom. She was crying because her whole picture of family had shattered. "Maybe I was blind," she said. I kept hoping she'd change. "She won't," I said. "But we can." So we did. We cut ties. Hard. No more holiday invites. No more fake brunches. No more pictures, no texts, no random gifts trying to lure us back. We bought a small lake house that year. I kept working as a consultant part-time. Casey started painting again. We made space in our lives for people who actually supported us. But here's the truth I didn't expect to admit. I got petty. That $5 check? That was for me. Not for justice. Not for peace. Just a slapback. And I paid for it. Not in money, but in time lost. Stress. The look in Casey's eyes when she realized her mom wasn't just mean, she was dangerous. Lorraine still lives in that big house, still surrounded by people who don't know better. But she doesn't have Casey. And she'll never be part of our lives again. That's how it ends. No applause. No big mic drop. Just silence. And sometimes silence is revenge.